Okay, huge message today, guys. Got a great workout, but I'm going to tell you guys something. All right, and this is going to confront a lot of you guys, coaches. And here's the thing. Coaches, parents, kids, if you do not have a system in place for your practices, you're doing everything wrong. Okay? That's the reality. You want to know what makes Penn State great? You want to know what makes Iowa great? You want to know what makes Oklahoma great? You want to know what makes it so they have a style? You want to know why they have that style? It's because they have a system in place. You guys got to stop messing around with winging it. Okay? It's hurting you. Going into practices, not having a plan, and just winging it. One of the worst things you can do is have a practice without a plan. All right, go to practice, open up the door, warm up the kids, wrestle hard, and then walk out and be like, "Oh man, that was a great practice." If you don't have a plan in place, more importantly, if you don't have a system in place, system meaning I do these 5 drills every single day for my offensive drill system. I do these 5 drills every single day for my defensive drilling. I do these 5 drills for my bottom wrestling. I do these 5 drills for my top wrestling. All right, if you guys don't know these things, if you don't know those going into practice every single day, you're making a huge mistake. Huge mistake. If your coaches don't know what the practice plan is, you're making a big mistake. If the other coaches in the room are walking around and they don't have a practice plan pre-rehearsed, knowing when it's their time to talk, when it's their time to run the drill session, when it's their time to run the live session, who's talking today at the beginning of practice, who's talking today at the end of practice. If you don't know these things, you're making a big, big mistake. You got to start getting systems in place. Okay? That's what builds championship teams. That's what builds championship wrestlers. You start building muscle habits, okay? Muscle memory, muscle habits, and then all of a sudden your wrestlers are doing the right things positionally in a match. Now you can go and teach technique. Okay? It's drills before skills. You want to get good at wrestling, you got to have drills before you have skills. That is the secret ingredient. Okay, I was wrestling in college. I got super frustrated after practice. I sat down, I looked around, everybody else's face was frustrated too. I was so frustrated, I jumped in my car, drove off into the mountains. I drove off into the mountains, looking up at the stars, not knowing what the heck I was doing. I got myself into a tough college room, number 2 ranked team in the country, and I'm fighting every single day, and it's just even. I'm never making a big gap. I'm never making a big jump. I'm not dominating, okay? All of a sudden, I have a couple phone calls with my dad. I'm watching Flow Wrestling. I'm watching Brent Metcalf. He said, get out a pen and paper. I start writing down how many shots he takes, what shots he takes, and how many seconds are between the attacks, each attack. And sure enough, every 6 to 8 seconds, Brent Metcalf had one of 3 different attacks: a single leg, a high C, and a snap down, go behind. My dad says, do you know those attacks? I said, heck yeah, I know those attacks. It's easy. All right, those are easy attacks. He said, you got to start drilling the basics again, Levi. From what we did in high school, you got to start having that every single day in your college room. So start putting it in at the beginning of my practice, start putting it in at the end of my practice, and sure enough, my confidence went off the chart because my muscle memory was there, my body was in the right position, and all of a sudden I started scoring. My coach started looking at me saying, man, this Levi's going to be the next national champ. You know what? Unfortunately, I wasn't. Unfortunately, that dream didn't necessarily come true. Perhaps I think some things I could have done better, and this is one of them. Making sure, guarantee that you have a system in place every single day so that you know for a fact you're going to get 1% better that day on something. This is the big mistake that coaches are making. This is the big mistake that wrestlers are making. You got to have a system in place. Practice plans got to be made up. A system is in place, and then you can get particular with the technique or the technical thing that you're going to improve on. But it's a huge mistake that tons of people are making. The best programs in the country, Ohio State, NC State, Penn State, Iowa, these teams right now have systems in place, and that's why they look like they have a style of wrestling. It's because they have certain things that they're doing every single day. Yes, I sell a drill system, and yes, I want to promote that drill system. It's called the All-In Wrestling System, but that is not what this video is about. This video is about you changing your mind, making a decision to prepare on the front end. Okay, Russell Wilson says separation is in the preparation. You need to prepare on the front end so that you're ready when the time comes and the going gets tough and you're in the semifinals or you're in the finals or you're at the state tournament, and your kids need the muscle memory from the most important drills and the most important positions, so positionally they win. Wrestling is a sport of position, okay? A lot of us think that it's a sport of technique and moves. It's about position. Even guys that teach technique, lots of technique, those techniques work because of the positions you put your body in. All right? It's a positional sport. You got to win the positions. You win the positions by having drill systems in place. You have drill systems in place when you have practice plans in place. That's when you're preparing. That's when you start separating yourself from competition. So if you're out there and you don't put a practice plan together, start putting one together. If you need practice plans, DM me, message me, whatever you want. I'll send you a full 30 days of practice plans. All right? If you need the drill systems, I'll give you an inside look at a couple of my favorite drills I like to do. Okay? And then, you can check in if you want to get the All-In Wrestling System so that you have it in your room. But I don't really care whether you do that or you do your own system. What I care is that you have a system in place. That is the message for today. All in. It's a lifestyle, it's a choice, and it's time